Oh yeah, Nancy. I'm about to get my workout in, but I had to reach out to you because you were in my dreams last night. And girlfriend, you were hosting the Oprah Winfrey Show, okay? Keep doing what you're doing, girl. You are going to continue to soar.
Nancy has always been that woman that has always lifted my soul. No matter what my circumstances were, she always gave me hope.
How delicious was that? It's so wonderful to hear other women just say great things about you, isn't it? Right? Don't we all love to have our ego stroked? Don't we all love to hear how amazing and wonderful we all are? I sure do. But I want to remind you guys that not to let the love and the success and the accolades and the acknowledgement get too much into your head, because it's easy to lose yourself in that. But I share the words of Eva and Ingrid at the beginning of this episode because these are two women who are really, really special to me. These are women who have been with me since the very beginning of this work that I do on a public platform. Ingrid has been following me and supporting me way back when I was doing my open mic poetry days, and Eva has been supporting me since my very first Fierce Woman event. She has been one of the first women to attend my vision board workshops. She continues to attend my workshops. She's now branching out herself and facilitating her own workshops, and it's just a wonderful love fest, right? And so, I want to share their words and their testimonies, but I also want to remind you all that we are not what people say that we are, right? We are not, whether that's good or whether that's bad. I don't want you to hold any of that to heart. I don't want you to give that too much weight, because when we do that, then we lose focus on who we are, and we allow others to define us, to define our work, and to give us our value. And I don't ever want you to do that. Don't lose yourself in the love of others, but also don't lose yourself in the hate that you may receive or the support that you may not receive. We're letting all of that ish go in 2018. We are embracing our wholeness. We are embracing our fullness. We are going to step into our power, into our purpose. We are going to affirm that we are all powerful and that we are magnificent and that we have within us every single thing that we need to make our dreams a reality. And so as I prepare to host this very last episode of 2018, I just want to thank you. I am sitting here humble and grateful and blessed to have had you support me and the Empowerment Hour podcast this past year. And so as I shift into this new year, as I embrace all that 2019 is going to bring me, is going to bring us, let us end this year on a powerful note. It is the last day of 2018. It is the last episode of the Empowerment Hour podcast for this year. So I encourage you to sit tight, enjoy all of the deliciousness that you are going to receive in this week's episode, and take it all in. Grab a pen and paper. You might be able to learn a few things, right? Have some things to take into the new year. And with that being said, let's get ready to roll, guys. You are tuned in to the Empowerment Hour podcast, your digital global classroom where individuals across all ages, backgrounds, and career levels tune in for guidance and motivation to live life on their own terms. It's where inspiring thought leaders, modern-day influencers, and social game changers come to discuss their own personal journeys and have real conversations about the journey to success. I am your host, Nancy Ruffin, and every week I bring you raw and unfiltered conversations about the obstacles we all encounter, the times we felt like giving up, and the things that keep us forging forward. It's where passion and purpose intersect. So if you're ready to start living on purpose, then you're in the right place. Let's get started. Welcome back, my loves. It is your girl, Nancy Ruffin, the host of the Empowerment Hour podcast, and we have made it. We are at the very last day of the year, and this is the very last episode of the podcast for 2018. I don't know about you, but I am feeling amazing. It has been a phenomenal year of just growth and expansion and just feeling great about myself, about the work that I've done this past year, about the many ways that I have expanded in every single area of my life, whether it has been with this podcast, whether it has been with my writing, whether it has been in the way that I'm sharing content on my social media, whether it's the way that I've been parenting and being a wife, or being present, or being a friend and a sister. I've just really embraced all of who I am, and it feels really, really amazing to be here reflecting and just being proud of the work that I've done. And I hope that you have been doing some reflecting yourself. You know, as I prepare for the vision board workshops, one of the things that I like to review or discuss or teach at my vision board workshops is the importance of self-reflection as a tool to increase self-awareness. And what I mean by that is that in order for us to really understand who we are, what drives us, what motivates us, what inspires us, we have to step back and reflect or look at the things that we've done in the past. We have to assess certain situations and break them down and see why we responded in a certain way, why we are triggered in a certain way, why we feel certain things when we're put in certain situations, right? So when we self-reflect, we are really getting and gaining a better understanding of who we are, how we operate, and what are the things that we need to change internally in order to change our external reality. And a lot of people don't do that, you know, when they're doing the vision board workshops. A lot of the things that I see, a lot of the workshops that are being taught out there are centered on having a really good time or just bringing girls together and partying and posting, you know, pictures on a board. And that's all fine and dandy. You know, that works for some people. But if you're looking for something with more substance, if you're looking for something that is really going to keep you focused, help you understand your behavior so that you can start implementing better habits, healthier habits, better routines in your life, then enroll in one of my workshops. I'm really good at what I do. I have a great success rate when it comes to the attendees of my vision board workshops and the things that they accomplish throughout the year based on the intentions that they set. It's a fun time. I'm excited. I have 2 already planned for January. I may add a 3rd in February just because the demand is there. But I'm also going to be expanding my scope of services and expanding my revenue streams. And I am going to start facilitating workshops for those of you who are interested in facilitating your own workshop. And so what that means is I am going to give you my complete toolbox. I am going to teach you how to successfully facilitate a workshop from the planning phase through the execution, through the follow-up, you're going to receive everything that I do, everything that I use. You'll get an already completed PowerPoint presentation with all of the agenda items, that you need to have a successful workshop. I mean, I'm pretty much giving you my trade secrets, guys. Okay. So I am really setting you guys up to be successful workshop facilitators. And this is something that I'm excited about because I am already seeing a handful of women who have attended many of my vision board workshops in the past kind of step into their own power as transformational healers and as women who want to help other women along this journey. And they're starting to facilitate their own workshops. And so I want to be able to provide them with the tools necessary to be successful, right? Because that is the purpose of the work that I do, is not just to teach you, how to manifest the things that you want in your life, but it's really to help you rediscover or discover that thing that you have been called to do by your Creator. It's really helping you tap into your God-given gifts and figuring out for yourself in what ways you want to share that with the world. And so when I see these women that have been my students, step into the teacher role, my gosh, that makes me so happy. It makes me so excited. And it makes the work that I do even more meaningful because that is why I do it. So that's what's coming down the pike for 2019. There's so many things happening in the new year that I'm really excited about. I am also going to be expanding the work that I do and branching out into kind of a men's segment. So it's going to be very similar to the work that I do with the Fierce Woman, but for men, because there is a need for it. There's a demand for it. And I've had several men reach out to me to kind of help them spearhead their own quote unquote men's movement. And I'm excited about that because what I envision that as being is expanding my own conglomerate, right? Or my own media company where I am at the head, almost like Oprah, right? And doing what she has been able to do for like Dr. Phil or even for her best friend Gail, so she provides the platform, she provides the tools, the resources, but she allows them to go and spread their own wings and do their own thing. And so that is something that I'm also going to be doing in the new year. And we're also going to be growing the podcast. I'm going to be bringing other podcasts into my quote unquote empowerment. I don't want to call it a network because we're not a network, but again, my conglomerate, because that's what I'm out here building. And we're going to have, a series of different podcasts touching on different subjects. Again, similar to what Oprah has done, with all of the people that have come kind of under her umbrella, the Dr. Phils, the Dr. Oz's, the Gales. This is how I envision me, my company, and how we're going to grow that. And the only way that I can grow is by helping other people grow. And, that's really what my work is centered on, right? It's being able to use my gifts to help others use theirs. So that's exciting. And with that being said, I am starting to take sponsors and sponsorships for the podcast. So if you want some airtime, if you want to promote your service or your podcast and kind of have like your own mini commercial on the Empowerment Hour podcast, then make sure that you shoot me an email at info@nancyarroyoruffin.com. I can send you my sponsorship packages with my rates and what that would cost. And we can get to work. We can get you promoted And, you would have access to my listenership and to my supporters and to everyone who tunes in every week to listen to the podcast. These are potential customers, guys. Take advantage of it. And just know that if I'm plugging something, then there's a very high likelihood that people are going to buy what you have to sell. Because I only put my name behind quality stuff. So if you feel like you have something out there worth promoting, worth pushing, holla at me. Let's get to work. Let's set you guys up for success in 2019. Now, as I get into the meat and potatoes of this podcast, I want to just talk about some of the amazing things that have been happening the last, couple of weeks. In December, I had my end of year Fierce Women's celebration on December 9th, and it was nothing short of amazing. Wow, wow, wow. When I tell you that we had an amazing time, It was like a big party with, some of my closest girlfriends, and we shared our testimonies. We celebrated all of our successes this past year. We embraced each other, and we had a good time. We partied, we danced, we drank, we ate. It was everything that I had imagined that it would be, and even more. It always exceeds my expectations. I had Stephanie Fuentes, BLC New York, Better Life Choices of New York. She was my guest speaker once again this year. And as always, Miss Stephanie knocked it out the box. She had these women in tears. She had us laughing. She had us really embracing ourselves and each other, and what the meaning of sisterhood and empowerment truly means. And I'm just so grateful that I have such amazing women behind me, beside me, in front of me, guiding me, helping me, supporting me along the way, because I will tell you that I could not do any of this work without the support of every single person who trusts in me and this work that I do. What else? That I do. Yes. We kicked off our holiday toy drive during the end of year celebration, and we collected toys, which we donated to Foster Care Unplugged and my girl Melody Centeno, who is the CEO and founder of this amazing organization. She spearheads all of these different initiatives throughout the year that I have been incredibly blessed and grateful to have been a part of. And this is something that I stress in everything that I do, guys. The more you are blessed, the more responsibility you have to pass those blessings down to others in whatever way, shape, form, capacity that you can do that. And if you can afford to do that in a monetary way, then it is your responsibility to do that. If you can do that in a way where you're sharing your gifts and your talents, it's your responsibility to do that as well. If you can only do that by sharing your time and resources that you may have, then it's your responsibility to do that as well. And I have to say that every single time I call upon my community to help with these give back initiatives, you guys always come out full force for me. And I just want to express my gratitude and how extremely thankful I am that you trust me and this work that I'm doing. You have to understand and trust that we are touching the lives of real children in this work that Melody is doing with the Foster Care Unplugged. And she is so committed to doing this work because she is a product of the foster care system, her and her sister, and they're a testament about what it means that when we say that your past does not have to determine your future. In fact, it can be the catalyst that really propels you into your calling, so stop using your past failures or your past difficulties as an excuse for not being great. All right. It is your responsibility to be great. It is your duty to wake up every single morning and put out your best foot forward. It is your responsibility to give the world the best version of yourself right now, whatever that may be. And if that means that you have to do some healing, then it's your responsibility to do that, because there is a world out there that is waiting for the gift that you possess, the gift that only you possess, the gift that God has given you to make your mark in this world. All right. So stop hiding behind your excuses. Stop wallowing and giving yourself pity parties, honey. We are leaving all of that nonsense in 2018, and we are stepping into 2019 strong and powerful and knowing that we are the shit. Okay? Say it with me. I am the shit. I am the shiznit. All right? I need you to look at yourself every single morning when you wake up in that mirror and remind yourself who you are. You are a child of God. And because you are a child of God, there is nothing that you lack. You have everything you need within you to live your best life, to put your best foot forward. And so I just want to thank Melody for allowing me to just be a small part of the difference being made in these children's lives. You never realize how one small act of kindness can truly mean the world to someone who has little or has nothing. All right. So a lot of the things that you and I tend to take for granted, someone else is praying for. So we were able to do that. What else? This year has been just an amazing year. The podcast, as you guys know, we got nominated, for an award for Best Podcast Content Creator. Like, never in a million years would I have imagined that would have ever been possible. Because when I started doing the podcast, all I wanted to do is share my voice. All I wanted to do is share my knowledge, my experiences, and really just be a source of hope and inspiration for you all through my own life example. Just by showing you that you can overcome the obstacles and trials and challenges and roadblocks that life puts in our ways, and you can use those roadblocks as stepping stones to get to your greatness. And so when I started the podcast, that really was all that I did it for. It was just another extension of me using my words. And yet I'm being recognized by organizations and awards and receiving, all of this love for a podcast that I record in my basement, with no budget, with no backing, no funding, no nothing. It's just me, my mic, and my computer, and my voice. Okay, but there's people out there that are listening that find value to what I am saying, and that's amazing. And I share that with you to say that you don't need big, fancy things or trinkets or whatever it is that you have convinced yourself in your mind that you need to make your dreams come true. You don't need any of that. All you need is your passion, your love, and a commitment to put your best out there. And once you have that, there's nothing that you cannot do. Your voice matters. Your thoughts matter. Your presence matters. You have to show up in this world like you're a somebody, because you are a somebody. Don't ever let anyone make you feel like you're a nobody, honey. Because the minute that you do that, you give away your power. So make sure that you hold on to that power and you cut out anyone from your life who makes you feel like you're less than. Because you're not. You're not less than me. You're not less than the next person next to you. You're not less than Beyonce or J-Lo or any of these celebrities that we tend to idolize and look up to. We are not less than any of them. You know why we're not less than them? Because we're all children of God. And in God's eyes, we are all equal. But you are responsible for the energy that you put out there. You're responsible for the space that you take up in this world. Okay? And you have to make your life worth living. Don't just float around life not with no purpose, lost. And it's okay that if you can be lost, right? Temporarily. But you have to regroup, recalibrate, and refocus so that you can find your way and you can rediscover what it is that you're supposed to be doing with yourself and sharing with the world. Honey, because if you don't do that, then you're just wasting your talent. And we are not in the business of wasting talent. We are in the business of utilizing our gifts for the greater good. So we got nominated for a freaking award. How amazing was that? All right, I didn't win. But you know what? Winning the award or losing the award does not take away from the value that this podcast provides to all of my listeners. And so for that, I'm just grateful. I love the recognition. I love that I was able to fly out to Miami and attend an award show and see my face and my name on the big screen and just be in a space with a lot of people that I have watched in the public eye for a lot of years in my childhood, and just be able to share space with them is amazing. My last booking of the year, I performed for the FBI. I mean, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Never would I have imagined I would ever have stepped in an FBI building. I mean, I was a huge 24 fan. Jack Bauer, man down, man down. Who remembers that? And I know he wasn't part of the FBI, but you get the picture, right? It's one of those government agencies. Who ever thinks about working, performing, doing anything with the FBI, unless you're going to be in law enforcement? It had never been anything that I even thought about. And yet they contacted me asking me if I would come and perform my poetry at that. I haven't performed poetry in years, ever since I started doing, this empowerment work and this strategic visioning work. I haven't really written poems. I didn't even have any new work to share, but I was able to pull out some of my old stuff, and it was phenomenal, and I rocked it. And I believe that I performed better than I had in the past because I own my voice now. I am so confident in who I am and in the words that I speak that when I stepped up on that virtual stage, I owned it. And I got to share the stage with freestyle legend Judy Torres. And if any of you are freestyle heads, then she was a big deal back, in the early 90s or the late 80s or whenever the heck freestyle, was popular. But this is a woman whose songs I grew up singing. And to think that I was sharing a stage with her, again, beyond my wildest dreams, not anything that I ever would have dreamed about. Not anything I would have even visioned or put on a board for myself to manifest. Yet, God made it happen for me. He's continuously placing me in rooms, with people that just wow me. And one of the things that I found really interesting in speaking with Judy while I was there is that she is also a life coach. She just got certified to be a life coach and even asked for some pointers from me. We exchanged numbers. She is an amazing human being. But this year has been such a whirlwind for me. And even though it has been great, there was a moment, during the summer where I experienced an issue with a close family member. And for those of you, who follow me consistently, then that my grandmother had hip replacement surgery back. I don't know if it was June or July. It was during the summer. She had fell while under the care of a home attendant. The home attendant was negligent in her care of my grandmother, which caused my grandmother to fall and break her hip. She had a fracture. It was bad. And she's 92 years old. She suffers from dementia. She wears a pacemaker, and she had to undergo surgery. Now, surgery is risky for a healthy average age person. Okay, surgery is not something to be taken lightly. Anything could happen in surgery. Many people never wake up from surgery. And given all of her other medical conditions, the fact that she had to have surgery was risky. And they told us that there was a possibility that she could have died during the surgery. It was not one of my highlights of this year, because I will tell you that for that time that she was in the hospital, it was very scary. This is the matriarch of our family. This is a woman who has sacrificed her entire life for her family. And I mean, you guys know how we are with our grandmothers. We worship them. We put them on pedestals. These are our queens. All right. No one compares to our abuelas. And I was devastated at the thought of losing her. But thank God, through God's grace, she made it through the surgery, and, she recovered physically. And, of course, she's old, and so she suffers from old age and other stuff that happens with, older people. But she's alive and she's well. But for that moment, it wasn't all good. It wasn't all good. And I share that because it's important for you guys to remember that although, there's a lot of stuff that you see me share and post, and yeah, it might seem like life is always good. Life is not always good for anyone. Not for me, not for you, not for J-Lo. Look at Diddy. All right. If you've been, watching social media, that his ex-girlfriend and the mother of his children recently passed away. This was a young woman, her mid-40s, just died out the blue, like devastating, right? His children, his young, preteen daughters have lost their mom. Could you imagine what that family must be going through? Could you imagine what he must be going through? Yes, he's a celebrity. He's famous. He has money. He's wealthy, right? He has all of these things that many of us aspire to, but he's not immune from hurt and sadness or grief or any of the emotions that we all feel. So you have to understand that when people are sharing their highlight reels and their good moments, understand that there's also a dark side, a sad side that they're going through that they may not choose to share with you, because a lot of times people like us, we choose to not dwell in that. We allow ourselves to feel it. We allow ourselves to go through the emotion, but we allow it to pass. Because if we embrace it, if we sit in it, if we wallow in it, then there's no getting out of that. And you can't allow yourself to succumb to the pain and to the hurt and to the grief that certain circumstances and certain experiences may cause you. It is during those moments of sadness, those moments of grief, those moments of weakness where God is building us up. God is strengthening us. He's testing our faithfulness, right? He is molding us, and he's using those experiences to create the better versions of ourselves. So you have to allow yourself to go through that process, but you grow through it and you get better, and you use it as an opportunity to gain strength and to show yourself that you're unbreakable, that even though you might feel broken, you are not broken. So 2018 has been a really great year of building for me. It was the year that my 3 words were to build, to be bold, and to be brave. And I had put those words in my journal, and I said, may every decision, opportunity, action, step be guided and inspired by these 3 words. Meaning that if it wasn't bold, if it wasn't me building, and if it didn't require me to be brave, then I was not going to do that. So those were my three guides for this year. And I used them, and I think that I lived up to those words fully. I collaborated with a number of women this past year to produce events that were powerful and meaningful and necessary. I allowed myself to build relationships, personal and professional partnerships. I've finally brought someone onto my Fierce Woman team, aside from my sister. This is someone who's not a blood relative, but she's a part of the team now, and she has been phenomenal. And Jess, if you're listening, I am so grateful to have you on this team. I look forward to everything that we are going to build together in the new year. Thank you for holding me accountable. Thank you for being that person that's going to keep me on track, because I need it, and so I've allowed myself to embrace these partnerships. It's really hard to bring someone in, to take care of your baby, so to speak, when you've put your heart and soul into creating an organization and a movement that you really love and that you really believe in. To give any component of that, to place it in someone else's hands is really, really scary. It's almost like entrusting your real life child to someone you don't know, right? But I go with energy. I go with what my gut tells me. I pray on it, and I go with what God guides me to do. And I felt that this move with this person was the right move, and I'm just excited for all that is to come in 2019. And, so as I end this week's episode, as I end the final episode of 2018, I just once again want to thank you for rocking with me for an entire year. Thank you for just being by my side through the growing pains. The best is yet to come, and I'm going to close this out by sharing two more testimonies by two women who attended my vision board workshop this past January. They're powerful, guys. I encourage you to listen to them through the end. Let them be your inspiration and motivation for this new year. And as I say every week in closing, go out there and crush those goals. Now, I want you to tune in, listen to my girl Susanna and my girl Stephanie. And as always, drop me a note, drop me a comment. Let me know what you thought of this week's episode. Happy New Year, guys. See you on the other side.
Hi, Nancy. Hello, Nancy's tribe. Beautiful ladies. My name is Susanna. I hope you're enjoying your end of the year blast. I wish I was there. I was there last year, and I got to meet some wonderful women and heard some amazing stories. And I'm here today just to quickly just say thank you, and to also encourage you ladies for, being here, maybe for the first time or however times that you've been here, and also for getting prepared for the 2019, which is going to be an amazing year. I'm claiming it already. But I was speaking to Nancy earlier this week, and I told her I want to put a little video together just to go ahead and share my story, because I'm not there. I'm in Florida, no longer in New York. But I met Nancy last year at her end of the year party, 2017, and then shortly thereafter attended her 2018 Manifest Your Vision workshop. I cannot tell you this past year how important that workshop and how impactful it was for me to have attended and to have met Nancy and everyone else. I got a little choked up. Let me just start off by saying, when I first met Nancy and I first attended her workshop, I was at my lowest of lows. I faked it well, and I thought I had it all together, but I hit rock bottom in my life. As I sat there at that workshop last year, I had no idea what I was going to put on that board. Going through the exercises that Nancy had us do of re-evaluating our values, our morals, our goals, I had no idea what I was going to write. I had no idea what I was writing. And I had no idea what I was pasting or what I was looking for. But we all know that subconsciously, the way that we react or with the energy that we put off are from our subconscious desires, wants, and needs. So let me begin by showing you my poster. Simple, not too extravagant. As a matter of fact, I left a very open space because I didn't even know how to finish it. But let's begin with what we have here. I have next job, next trip, next love, warrior woman, Latin kitchen. I'm a dietitian. I'm still a vision here. My little babies, all multicultural. Had no idea which one I'll end up with. My future husband, haven't met him yet, but that's okay. And my home, and most importantly, this side. A pair of glasses with palm trees and water. A sign of me wanting to be happy. It's something that's saying that I'm in a good place, and I wanted to wake up happier every day. My business card from my personal nutrition counseling company, and most importantly, love. Now, this is so ambiguous. It had no real connections to it at that moment. I had no idea what I was presenting to myself, let alone to the world or the universe. But I am going to say that shortly thereafter, a week after I attended that workshop, I got a phone call from CVS corporate headquarters and offered me a job to come back to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I say come back to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, because I was raised here in Fort Lauderdale. I left shortly thereafter, 1997, and it's been 20 years since I've come back. Granted, my mother's here, my family's here, my cousins are here. So it wasn't going to be a hard transition, like moving somewhere that you had no idea who you were, you didn't know anyone. No, I was coming home. However, what little did I know is that coming home, I came back to the core and the root of who I was. So I may have moved, but I did not move for myself. And everything that I had inside of me, and the hurt and the pain and the wounds and that I carried over from New Jersey to New York, I had to work at to get back at. So I'm here, a new job, a new place, trying to find my new self, but I had no idea what was coming along. When I posted this next job, next trip, next love, I had no idea what that meant. But now I do. Next job was that new amazing career opportunity that I have and that I love and I'm so grateful for. The next trip, shortly when I got the job offer, I went to Trinidad for 10 days and then I picked up my life and left and came to Fort Lauderdale about a week later. So all this happened in 2 weeks. And next love, it wasn't about a man. It was about me. I finally found that next love, and that's me. I finally can say that I'm that warrior woman. I can very well say that maybe I have not met my husband, have my children, have my beautiful home yet, but I'm okay. I'm on my way. Why? Because I'm happy, and I'm in a good place, and I wake up every day happy. I am that queen bee, and that vision, I can't tell you how important it is to be in my element of water, palm trees, and the warm weather. I'm sorry, ladies. I do not miss the New York winter. But most importantly, what I put here, I cross all bridges with joy. It says, I cross all bridges with joy and ease. The old unfolds to wonderful new experiences, and my life gets better all the time. Nancy, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being this amazing woman, manifesting angel that God has made you to be for every single woman in your tribe. You have fed us. Okay, you have inspired us, you have taught us, you have pruned us, and you consistently, every day and every week, put yourself out there and share what you have been given to share. Like you said in one of your podcasts, your words are not your words. Those are words that God has given you. And I do believe He has such a blessing over your life. And I want to say thank you for coming into my life. And I want to say, ladies, it is so important to do the work, to really dig again and to find out who you really are, to clean out those wounds and then grow from there. We haven't been brought this far to be left now. And this year, as you end this year, and whatever you put on that vision board, if it didn't manifest, okay. If it did manifest, great. But continue, because we all have our time. It's a season, okay, that we all have to go through. And then as you go into next year's manifest workshop, and you repost and you repaste, it's wonderful to paste the material things, yes, but the innermost true self has to show the universe what you really want in order to really manifest, and then work at it. It doesn't have to be such a rigorous process. It's just one step at a time. And I am so grateful for the women around me, and again for Nancy and all of you women who I've met through this tribe. And I just want to wish you the best this holiday season, a happy, healthy new year, and may 2019 bring you all that your heart's desires. God bless.
Hey Nancy, how are you? I hope you had an amazing holiday with your family. Better late than never, but here is my vision board recap for 2018. Since there's not that many days left in the year, I wanted to go over how your workshop and your work changed my life yet again, as always. So here we go. So as you can see, I have the board right up here, and I definitely went big this year. Finally worked on some self-love, paid down 2 bills that were everything. Really got into tune with making life more of harmony than balance. Did good in the salon and got promoted this year. I'm almost to this goal. I have been waiting to give you this video because I'm like 8 pounds away, but I will get there next year. And just really getting in tune with well-being, my beauty blog. I did a lot with my business and the blog, and just a really big growing year. And it's honestly because of your workshop and how you have people sit there and make their goals and write their goals out and make them more strategic. Sorry, I totally lost my train of thought. But I'm looking forward to January's workshop because we are going to crush 2019. So if you need any help in goal setting, Nancy is your girl. Nancy, thank you for everything that you do for me and your audience and everyone, because you are a role model for us all. I'm really proud of the woman that I became in 2018, and I'm ready to be an even bigger force in 2019. And with Nancy by my side, can't go wrong, right? So I wish you all a happy and safe holiday season, happy new year, and as Nancy says, let's crush some goals. Thank you, Nancy.